You're about to hear something startling. Nearly 99% of seniors are losing memory while they sleep, and most of them don't even realize it. What if I told you these memory slips aren't just normal aging, but are being silently accelerated by 6 simple bedtime habits that nearly everyone trusts and repeats every night? Stick with me because in the next few minutes I'm going to walk you through what Japan's oldest doctor, yes, the one who's still practicing, still sharp, still full of life, has discovered, and more importantly, how you can flip the script on those habits and guard your memory while you sleep. Most people assume that memory loss is just a natural part of aging, something that happens to everyone eventually. But according to Japan's oldest practicing doctor, that belief isn't entirely true. He explains that while age plays a role, the real reason many seniors experience rapid memory decline lies in what happens during their sleep. The human brain doesn't shut down at night. It works tirelessly to process information, store memories, and clear out waste products that build up during the day. However, this delicate process can be easily disrupted by the habits we follow before going to bed. When those habits interfere with the brain's nightly restoration, it slowly starts to lose its ability to retain information, recall details, and think clearly. This means that what we often blame on getting older might actually be a result of how we treat our brain before sleep. During deep sleep, the brain organizes and stores new experiences, making connections between ideas and clearing away unnecessary clutter. It's a process that allows you to wake up feeling mentally fresh and alert. But if your bedtime habits disturb your sleep cycle, the brain can't complete this task. For instance, staying up late scrolling through your phone, eating heavy meals right before bed, or going to bed at irregular hours all force your brain to spend more time adjusting rather than repairing. When this happens night after night, the brain's ability to consolidate memories becomes weaker. Over time, small lapses like forgetting names or misplacing items become more frequent. What's alarming is that most people don't recognize this as damage. They think it's just age catching up. Dr. Hinohara's observations over decades of treating elderly patients show a pattern. The seniors who maintained sharp mental faculties into their 80s and 90s weren't necessarily those who had perfect genetics or high education levels. They were the ones who respected their sleep as sacred time for the brain. They avoided overstimulation before bed, kept their routine steady, and allowed their mind to wind down naturally. On the other hand, those who treated bedtime casually, keeping irregular schedules or falling asleep to bright screens, often showed faster mental decline. It's as if every night became a small withdrawal from their cognitive bank account. The more nights they lost to poor habits, the more memory they lost without realizing it. What makes this discovery powerful is that it gives people control. You can't change your age, but you can change your bedtime behavior. When seniors understand that their brain is active at night, not idle, it changes how they approach sleep. It's not just about getting enough hours. It's about protecting the quality of those hours. Each habit before bed either supports or sabotages your brain's repair cycle. Over months and years, the difference becomes enormous. Dr. Hinohara calls this silent memory erosion, a condition where the damage happens quietly while you sleep. The good news is that it's reversible. Once you replace harmful routines with healthier ones, the brain starts to recover its rhythm, and with it, its ability to retain and recall memories more efficiently. There are 6 bedtime habits that silently accelerate memory loss, and almost every senior falls into at least one of them without realizing the harm they cause. These habits seem harmless, even comforting, but they interfere with the brain's ability to organize and store memories properly during sleep. The first and most common one is using screens before bed. Whether it's scrolling through a phone, watching television, or reading on a tablet, the blue light emitted from these devices tricks the brain into thinking it's still daytime. This suppresses the release of melatonin, the hormone that signals your body to sleep. When melatonin is low, it takes longer to fall asleep, and the quality of sleep becomes shallow. Instead of entering deep restorative sleep where the brain cleanses itself and stores new information, people spend most of the night in light sleep stages. Over time, this leads to poor memory retention, reduced focus, and mental fatigue upon waking. Another damaging habit is going to bed either too full or too hungry. When you eat a heavy meal before bed, your digestive system stays active for hours, drawing blood flow away from the brain and making it harder for the body to fully rest. On the other hand, going to bed hungry can cause drops in blood sugar, which disrupts sleep and wakes you up in the middle of the night. Both situations stop the brain from maintaining its rhythm of deep and REM sleep, the two stages responsible for repairing cells and consolidating memories. The solution lies in moderation, eating a balanced meal earlier in the evening and, if necessary, having a light snack like a handful of nuts or a small fruit before bedtime. An inconsistent sleep schedule is another major contributor to memory decline. Many seniors go to bed at different times every night, and the brain's internal clock becomes confused. The brain thrives on rhythm, and when that rhythm is constantly disrupted, it struggles to regulate hormone cycles, body temperature, and mental recovery. People who frequently change their bedtime often experience fragmented sleep and wake up feeling disoriented. The brain needs consistency to perform its nightly maintenance properly, and without it, those essential memory-forming processes are left incomplete. Lack of sunlight exposure during the day might seem unrelated to sleep, but it's a critical piece of the puzzle. Natural light helps regulate the circadian rhythm, which dictates when you feel awake and when you feel sleepy. Seniors who spend too much time indoors under artificial light often have trouble falling asleep at night. Their body's internal timing gets misaligned, causing restless nights and foggy mornings. A simple walk in the morning sunlight or spending some time near a window each day can help reset that internal clock. The next harmful pattern is engaging in stimulating or emotional activities right before bed. Arguments, stressful news, or intense TV shows keep the brain in alert mode, raising stress hormones like cortisol, which makes it harder to relax. Instead of preparing for rest, the brain remains on guard, preventing deep sleep and the memory processing that occurs during it. Lastly, an uncomfortable or noisy sleep environment disrupts memory-protecting sleep stages. Poor bedding, too much light, and background noise cause micro-awakenings that break the natural sleep cycle. Each interruption prevents the brain from completing its cleanup process, leading to long-term memory decline. By fixing these 6 bedtime mistakes, anyone can dramatically improve the brain's ability to restore itself each night and protect memory well into old age. During sleep, the brain isn't simply resting. It's performing one of the most vital maintenance routines that keeps us mentally sharp and emotionally balanced. Every night, while the body relaxes, the brain enters a complex cycle of cleaning, sorting, and storing. It filters out unnecessary information, strengthens important neural connections, and consolidates new memories so they can be recalled later. This process is what allows you to learn, remember, and stay focused. But for it to happen properly, the brain needs uninterrupted, high-quality sleep. When sleep is disturbed or poorly structured, the memory cleaning system is disrupted, and that's when things begin to decline quietly. People might wake up feeling tired even after 8 hours of sleep, and over time they start noticing more frequent lapses in memory, slower thinking, and difficulty concentrating. These aren't signs of normal aging. They're signs that the brain's nightly housekeeping has been blocked. Dr. Barbara describes this as the night shift of the brain. Just like workers who need the right environment and time to finish a job, the brain's memory cleaning crew depends on deep and REM sleep to complete their tasks. During deep sleep, the glymphatic system flushes out toxins and waste that accumulate throughout the day, including harmful proteins linked to cognitive decline. Then, during REM sleep, the brain processes emotions, integrates new knowledge, and strengthens neural pathways. When either of these stages is interrupted, memories can't be properly stored and information from the day remains scattered. Imagine trying to save files on a computer that keeps losing power. It looks fine for a while, but soon the system slows down and files go missing. That's what happens inside the brain when bedtime habits disrupt the sleep cycle. Even subtle interruptions can have a big impact. Late-night phone notifications, lights from nearby electronics, or fluctuating room temperatures can jolt the brain out of deep sleep just enough to break the flow of its work. It's like waking a librarian halfway through organizing thousands of books and expecting them to remember exactly where they left off. The result is incomplete sorting, Memories from the day before don't get properly stored, and the brain carries an extra load into the next day, leading to confusion and forgetfulness. When this becomes a pattern, the mind slowly starts to feel cluttered. Seniors who experience this often say they feel mentally foggy, and it becomes harder for them to remember even simple things like appointments or names. Another overlooked element is the timing of sleep. The body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm, works in harmony with the brain's repair schedule. When you go to bed at irregular times, it confuses this clock, delaying the start of deep sleep. The longer your brain stays in the lighter stages, the less time it has to cleanse itself and store memories. That's why people who stay up late and sleep in don't necessarily feel rested. They've missed the brain's prime maintenance window. Understanding this makes it clear that protecting sleep quality is just as important as the number of hours you rest, because it's during these invisible night hours that your memory, clarity, and cognitive strength are either being built up or slowly lost. The quality of sleep depends heavily on two key factors: consistency and environment. The brain thrives on rhythm and balance, and when you provide it with predictable patterns, it rewards you with sharper focus, stronger memory, and calmer energy throughout the day. A consistent sleep routine tells your internal clock exactly when to release the right hormones for rest and recovery. Going to bed and waking up at the same times each day may seem simple, but it trains your body to transition smoothly between sleep stages. Without that routine, your brain struggles to synchronize, and you end up waking during crucial deep sleep cycles, the moments when memory consolidation happens. Seniors who maintain steady schedules tend to experience more stable moods, clearer thinking, and fewer memory lapses because their brains know when to enter deep restorative sleep and when to prepare for alertness. Another factor that influences memory and sleep quality is the environment in which you rest. Many underestimate how much light, sound, and temperature affect the brain's ability to fully relax. Even small disturbances like the faint glow of a phone screen or the hum of a ceiling fan can prevent the mind from entering its most productive rest states. The brain senses safety through calm and quiet surroundings. When the environment is stable, cool, dark, and quiet, it signals that it's safe to shut down higher-level alert systems. This allows the body to lower heart rate and blood pressure, and the brain to redirect energy toward internal cleaning and memory sorting. If the environment feels chaotic or uncomfortable, the brain stays slightly awake, constantly scanning for potential threats, and that vigilance robs you of deep, restorative sleep. Light exposure also plays a large role in maintaining consistency. During the day, exposure to natural sunlight tells your brain when to stay alert, while darkness signals it's time to wind down. Seniors who spend most of their day indoors often experience disrupted circadian rhythms because artificial lighting doesn't mimic natural daylight properly. Without enough sunlight, the body produces less serotonin during the day and less melatonin at night, leading to shallow sleep and fragmented rest. Simply walking outside for 20 to 30 minutes during daylight hours can recalibrate this cycle, making it easier to fall asleep at night and wake up feeling refreshed. This habit, combined with a controlled nighttime environment, strengthens the natural connection between daylight, darkness, and deep rest. Consistency also extends to pre-sleep routines. The activities you perform before bed tell your brain what's coming next. If you repeat calming rituals like reading, stretching, or meditating, your mind begins to associate these actions with relaxation and rest. Over time, this routine becomes an internal cue, preparing the brain for memory consolidation. A chaotic or unpredictable pre-sleep routine, on the other hand, keeps your nervous system in alert mode. Maintaining steady cues before bedtime ensures your brain enters its memory processing phase on schedule. Together, a consistent routine, natural light exposure, and a peaceful sleep environment form the foundation for memory preservation and cognitive clarity. Making small changes to bedtime habits can have a powerful effect on preserving memory and mental clarity, especially for seniors who assume memory decline is inevitable. The brain has an incredible ability to adapt and recover when given the right environment, and it starts with the simplest of steps. By replacing harmful routines with healthier, restorative ones, you can literally train your brain to function better while you sleep. Many people think improvement comes from drastic lifestyle changes, but according to Japan's oldest doctor, it's the small, consistent, nightly decisions that protect the brain the most. Each positive change, whether it's reducing screen exposure before bed, adjusting your sleep environment, or following a consistent bedtime, acts as a signal to the brain that it's safe to slow down. Clean up and store new memories efficiently. For instance, turning off screens just 30 minutes before bed might sound insignificant, but it can dramatically improve sleep quality. The blue light from phones and televisions interferes with the natural production of melatonin, a hormone responsible for making you feel sleepy. When you cut out that light before bed, melatonin production normalizes, allowing you to fall asleep faster and reach deeper stages of rest. These deeper stages, especially slow-wave sleep and REM, are where the brain processes the day's experiences, strengthens memory connections, and removes waste that builds up in the brain during waking hours. Over time, this simple act of avoiding screens before bed can lead to clearer thinking, faster recall, and a noticeable improvement in overall cognitive health. Another small but powerful change involves maintaining a peaceful environment. Adjusting your bedroom temperature, dimming the lights, or using calming scents can all cue your body for rest. The brain associates these environmental signals with safety and relaxation, allowing it to release tension and transition smoothly into deep sleep. When you sleep in an environment that feels calm and consistent, the brain doesn't need to stay alert, which means it can focus on the essential work of memory consolidation. This nightly repair process strengthens not only your memory but also your ability to focus and make decisions the next day. These incremental changes also create momentum. Once you notice the difference that one habit makes, like how much more refreshed you feel in the morning or how clearly you recall details, you naturally want to adopt more positive habits. It becomes easier to protect your sleep because you start valuing it as the foundation of your mental and physical health. That's why starting small is so effective. Seniors who begin with just one change, such as avoiding screens before bed, often end up improving other areas of their routine without forcing it. The benefits encourage them to continue. The real magic happens through consistency. When these small habits are repeated night after night, they become part of your natural rhythm, teaching your brain to expect rest at the same time and to enter its most productive sleep stages more efficiently. Over weeks and months, these nightly improvements accumulate, helping you maintain sharper memory, better mood, and long-term mental resilience.